Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Thor issue 3. And this was epic. This was a clash of Thor and Beta Ray Bill, and it was done very well. Because I'm thinking, why would they fight? And as you're going through it, both sides have valid arguments. And they just did it so well as how the art just fucking rocks with it. So, the issue starts off, and you're like, okay, it's telling us about this time that Thor did this battle for 2 years. Didn't eat, didn't sleep, didn't stop swinging his hammer for 2 full years. And that he doesn't even remember like who he was fighting, what he was fighting for. This was just this thing that would be a culmination of what would be as a god. Like, just 2 years means nothing. Like 100 could be like an hour. And that's just to show the importance of this one, and to show that Thor will remember this fight with Beta Ray Bill. And of course, I was like, I'll have words with Galactus, and I'll free you from whatever control he's got. And of course, Thor's like, no, let's talk about this. And of course, he's Hammond, and Thor smacks him down to Eclipse's moon, which is getting all kinds of fucked up, and is an amazing battleground because of all the debris from the planet, just making it completely crazy. He goes down, he's like, listen, I had to do this. And the thing is, I'm like powered up. I've got the power cosmic. I've got my all-father powers as well as my other powers. Normally, we would meet as equals. This is not that day. And he, of course, still thinks he's under Galactus' control. He's like, fine, okay, whatever. And I don't know how he does it or like what he does, but he temporarily turns off the power cosmic from what it shows. He's like, see, I can do this. Of course, Galactus is like, screw that noise, and blasts him a little bit, and Thor's like, screw your shit. And I'm like, fuck off. I chose this shit. Alright? You get nothing from me, fucker. Essentially. And Galactus is like, fine, whatever. I'm just gonna sit this out. And of course, they start hamming and fighting at each other. And of course, like, Beta Ray Bill's like, you chose this? Why? And of course, Thor's trying to get it through to him that the Black Winter is coming. It has already ended the universe preceding this one, and I had to do this. And of course, we see him employing different kind of stuff. He's of course calling him out for not wearing the Asgard colors. He's like, I wouldn't do that. He's like, well, I'm in charge now. He wouldn't do it against Odin's kingdom, and of course, he was planning on doing this, so he chose his own kind of colors. And he's like, it's my kingdom. He's like, yes, you could have sent an army or whatnot. You could have came to me. And that one hits the most when you're like, you could have come to me, brother. It's like, shit. Yeah. But Thor hits back, I did this because I am king. And that is a key thing for Thor. He will not ask someone to go somewhere if he will not lead that way first. That's the different kind of king he is. Granted, that means he will have problems delegating things to people. Even though he is able to delegate certain things to, like, Volstagg, it's like, okay, maybe Thor should have chose someone else to help Galactus with this and taken a broader level view. But that's not Thor. Thor gets into the muck to help people. He's the one to use his power to help those in need front line. He doesn't usually do things from the back. It's not a comfortable kind of way for him to do his kind of thing. So it's kind of like, there you go. But of course, they're hitting and taking each other, and he tries and throw Mjolnir at him, but Beta Ray Bill's able to catch it. And he's like, grabbing onto it as Thor's trying to call it back. He's like, listen, I will rip your arm off. And because he had shouted that he was still Thor, bringing that up. And that is when he'd throw Mjolnir at him. But he's like, well, call it then. But you are not worthy to wield the hammer. And of course, this is already plaguing on Thor as it is, even though Beta Ray Bill is straining to keep Mjolnir in check. And then Thor goes, fine then, I'll use another. And then he calls Stormbreaker to him. And then we get this giant page as Thor goes and smashes Stormbreaker against Mjolnir, and it breaks Stormbreaker. Now, I do not believe that Thor wanted to break Stormbreaker, and that breaking Stormbreaker like that was not his objective. I was very surprised when that happened. I'm like, holy shit, that's... Thor is like a god of hammers. He understands how important these weapons are to himself and those who wield them. So that's a big thing to do. And I'm like, you better give Beta Ray Bill another Stormbreaker, man. And I know that Thor would, because he's his brother. And of course, he's like, you're not my brother, because of this. And of course, Thor's able to call back Mjolnir, but before he's able to do another blow to Beta Ray Bill, the Bifrost comes down, and we see that Sif is like, I'm stopping this insanity now. So the only way through to continue this door is through, like echoing what he had said to Beta Ray Bill, as she is protecting Beta Ray Bill now, as he is slumped over and beat the shit up. It's like, holy fucking shit. I mean, I've been loving this run so far, but I did not expect to see an epic clash like this so soon and then done just so well. Now, granted, I knew that this creative team had the ability to do it, but I'm just like, I had my expectations, and then like, holy shit! This is what happens when Thor and Beta Ray Bill fight, and like, both of them had valid concerns, because Beta Ray Bill's calling him out for like, how many dead worlds are you gonna get? But I'm like, Beta Ray Bill, he didn't want Galactus to eat this planet completely. He got the inhabitants off because he was not gonna let that shit ride. He has been up on Galactus's shit. And then, of course, Thor is on the other side of, like, the Black Winter. We had this giant cosmic threat. But, of course, they had to pretty much get through it to each other through hammers and thunder and lightning instead of with words. So, we'll have to see how this kind of goes through in the next issue, because I'm like, ooh, it's going to take a little bit to calm this shit down, because, granted, fighting each other and blooding each other's up one thing. You broke his hammer. That's the big fucking thing. So I am excited and cannot wait for the next issue to see where this continues to go. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.